everyone, and welcome into the season finale of Sportszone. I am your host, Justin Ballou. Well, the Dallas Cowboys fell victim to the Green Bay Packers once again last Sunday at Lambeau Field. But the Dallas Cowboys will look to bounce back this Sunday when they take on another NFC North opponent in the Minnesota Vikings. And here to break down everything Dallas Cowboys are analysts Caleb Blanton and Brendan O'Donnell. Guys, Packers always have the Cowboys number, and it was the same last Sunday, even though the Packers were struggling. Caleb, what do you think went wrong in that game?
Well, let me start in the third quarter. Dallas was up 28-14, and then out of nowhere, Christian Watson decides to step up. He gets 2 touchdowns, one of them on 4th down. That was really bad. And then you got to go to the 4th. You got to talk about Dallas's offense. They couldn't move the ball whatsoever. And then in overtime, Dallas had a chance to kick the field goal, but they didn't. They ended up going for it on 4th down. Green Bay got the ball, and they scored a field goal, and that was game.
Yeah, they were up in the 4th quarter, 28-14, Brendan. What do you think went wrong for the Cowboys?
If I was on last week, I would have told you the Packers are going to beat us. I'm a Cowboys fan, and I saw it coming. Aaron Rodgers loses to the Lions. Of course they're going to gear up for the Cowboys. Packers love beating the Cowboys. It's going to happen, and it did happen one way or another. And in a historical loss also, the Cowboys have never lost a game going into the 4th quarter with a 14-point lead. They were 195-0, and we lost. Still ended up losing that game somehow, some way. I think I want to blame our rush defense the most, but I can't even say somebody played better than our rush defense. Everybody was pretty that game, except for maybe Tony Pollard, our one bright spot.
And Brendan, what is it about the Packers? They always seem to be the kryptonite for the Cowboys. What do you think it is that makes them so hard to beat?
I think it's Aaron Rodgers. He's just got a vendetta against us for some reason. I think he has a vendetta against a lot of teams, seeing as how he went from being a first overall potential pick in 2005, and then he dropped down to 24th, I believe. I think he hates everybody, everything, but the Cowboys the most.
Now, as we get into this weekend's game against the Minnesota Vikings, they beat the Bills last weekend on the road. Like, this is a scorching hot team. Caleb, what do you think it's going to take to beat Minnesota this weekend?
Yeah, so number one, you got to stop Justin Jefferson. He's been balling. He's been playing like the number 1 wide receiver right now. That ridiculous one-handed grab was the greatest catch I've ever seen. That was just ridiculous. So you have to stop those big plays. And then offensively, I want to see Dak, not turn over the ball. The past 2 games, he's thrown a couple interceptions, threw 2 interceptions against Green Bay, 1 against Chicago. You got to get that fixed. And also, I want a balanced attack offensively. You need to run the ball, throw the ball. If they do that, I think they can win.
Yeah, go ahead.
For me, I'm going to say the rush defense has got to step up. Back-to-back games, giving up over 200 rush yards. That's a recipe for defeat. Any team's going to lose games when they give up 200 rushing yards. So if it happens twice, maybe it's an anomaly. If it happens 3 games in a row, that's just what the team is. Our defense, it looks great whenever we can rush the quarterback and we can get to them, which is the other key. Let's actually get more sacks this game. We only got 2 in the last game. Granted, Aaron Rodgers only threw it 20 times because they were able to run it so much. But we have to put ourselves in good game scripts.
Now, the NFC East, guys, this has been a crazy division this year. The Eagles were undefeated, lost to the Commanders on Monday night. We saw the Giants beat the Texans. The Cowboys still sitting there in 3rd place. So at this point, with this being our last show of the season, Brendan, what do you think it's going to take for the Cowboys to ultimately win this NFC East division this year?
It's going to be hard to win the NFC East. I think we need to beat everybody within the division. We need to go 6-0 because I believe the Eagles are probably going to win the rest. Actually, the Eagles might lose to us if we do that, so they'd be 4-2. As long as we match them and we beat them when we play them again, then we'll be 5-1 or 6-0 in the division, and the Eagles would be 4-2 or 5-1 as well. We'll have that division record, but we also have to match their overall record as well. It's going to come down to that Eagles game.
That's
Gotta win that one.
That Christmas Eve game against the Eagles is going to be a showdown. So let's predict, since it's our last show of the season, how far will the Cowboys go this season? Caleb, I want to start with you.
I think they obviously make it to the playoffs. The NFC isn't really that stacked like the AFC is. But I honestly don't see them winning more than 1 or 2 games. I think the Eagles or maybe the Vikings right now are the top teams. Yeah. I just think they're more balanced. They have a better. I just think right now they're playing the best ball out of all the teams in the NFC, and I think the Eagles honestly make it to the Super Bowl.
What do you think, Brendan?
For me, I think the Cowboys can make it until they meet the 49ers. I think the 49ers are probably the best team in the NFC. We're not as tough to beat them. We don't have the talent to beat them. They have an all-pro at every position level except quarterback. It's unfair at that point. I think we can beat any team. I don't think we will. I mean, we have off weeks and things like that, but furthest we go is NFC Championship game against the 49ers. If it's somebody else, then I think we have a Super Bowl shot. But I think the Niners have it in the bag for the NFC.
Now, really quickly, Brendan, can the Cowboys win the NFC? Really quick take here.
They can. The Cowboys could definitely win
it.
the NFC. I believe in them. We just have to do better. Be like how it was with Cooper Rush. That's all we got to do.
Well, Cowboys back in action this Sunday against the Minnesota Vikings at 3:25, America's Spotlight Game of the Week yet again. Well, coming up next, the Dallas Stars are red hot. We're going to talk all things Stars hockey coming up next.
It's a short ride from your neighborhood to your naturehood. Find fun activities to do, like boating and biking, or camping and hiking, plus much more. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
I'll never forget the day our landlord called and said, "Read your lease. No pets allowed." My owner tells him my dog ate the lease, but that didn't work. And now I'm stuck in a shelter. But this pit bull is ready for a new crib. I'm loving, loyal, and play well with others. So don't be intimidated by all my muscles, because the biggest one I have is my heart. That's right, I said it.
Okay, so we drowned the fire, stirred it, drowned it again, and now just feel if it's cold.
Yeah.
Cool.
Smokey just gave me a bear hug.
I know. I already posted it.
Hockey season is in full swing as the Dallas Stars have gotten off to a red-hot start under their new head coach, Pete DeBoer. And here to talk all things Dallas Stars hockey are analysts Matthew Wagner and Tyler Luker. Guys, 9-5-2 to start the season, leading the Central Division is really impressive given the new head coach and all the new pieces on this team. Matthew, just give me your overall thoughts on the season to this point.
We had a hard start, right? And this is a team that has, started off strong with their offensive tactics, and then their defense has been solid, right? Heiskanen, Lindell have been knocking that down, and even the new additions, Colin Miller, man, he has been a red-hot stay-at-home defenseman. And I like what their season's going. They can definitely take the Central Division because the rest of the teams in the Central Division have not been doing good. The Blues and the Wild have sucked a lot recently, so I think the Stars can easily take this one.
What do you think, Tyler?
Well, they've been scoring, and they've been playing great defense. Great on both sides of the puck. You're going to have great results. Fourth best point differential in all of the NHL right now. They've tapered off a little bit since their hot start, but, man, they've played great.
Yeah, and the offense has really been the story so far, at least in my opinion. Much improved from last season, I think is safe to say. They went from a team that struggled to score 2 goals a game to now consistently scoring 3 and 4 goals a game. So love to see that. Matthew, what has been the biggest key to the offensive improvement this year?
Again, the Hintz, Robertson, Pavelski, but also the new additions. Mason Marchment, right? He has been a big helper to this team. And also some of their depth guys, the young rookies, right? Met Jay Blummel, who came over from Edmonton, Wyatt Johnston, and a lot of those guys have been really producing the offense for this team, and they've been driving it, and I love to see that.
What do you think?
Well, that first line of Pavelski, Hintz, and Robertson is delicious. They've been scoring at will. Now Dallas Stars fans can rejoice. We're not at the point where it's like, oh, we have to rely on Seguin and Ben all the time. Now there's other pieces, and those guys can kind of take a step back.
And 2 of the guys that they have been relying on were guys that we talked about. They just took so long this offseason to re-sign Jason Robertson, got Ottinger locked up pretty early. Let's start with Jason Robertson. tied for third in the NHL in points right now with 25. What do you think has been his biggest key to success this season, Matthew?
It's been his offense, right? He's getting in those dirty areas and letting Hintz, drive the puck deep in the zone, and then him stand out in front, right? Most of his goals, if you watch him, have been that way. And he's a guy that, he's no guy that's going to be a pushover. He's a guy that's going to, push back, and you get in those dirty areas, and that's what his key to success with his goal scoring.
Yeah, certainly happy they locked him up. Tyler, what have you seen from Jason Robertson?
I mean, yeah, he's just putting shots on net. He leads the team in shots by, I think, 30, and he's got around 60 at this point. They're just finding him in open areas, and he's just letting it fly.
Now let's hit Jake Ottinger, because obviously they had a loaded goalie room last year. Now Ottinger's the guy this year, and he's played pretty well through 16 games. So Matthew, what have you seen from him so far?
He's definitely a shutdown guy. We saw it last year, in the first round loss to Calgary, was the main reason why they took that game to 7 games. And this is a guy that, Lakeville product. He's a guy that's going to, shut down the game. He put the team to win every night. I cannot wait to see what he does for the rest of the season.
Yeah, what do you think?
Well, the Dallas Stars, they have success when they have strong goalies in net. He's top 10 in goals against average and save percentage. They really need him. And even when he was out most of the first 2 weeks of this month, Wedgwood was pretty good in net. And that depth is really going to help him down the stretch.
Is there any new players or maybe a returning player this year that needs to step up that maybe hasn't done enough yet, Matthew?
Yeah, for sure. Denis Gurianov. My gosh. This guy was a first-round pick in 2015. He has not shown up. He has not produced. This guy is becoming one of the most major busts in the NHL. I would trade him, move on from him, because there's guys in the AHL that I would like to see come up and be better than him. Like I said, Matt J. Blummel, he was a rookie, right? He's only 23. Gurianov's 24, 25. He has not produced. I would like to see another younger guy step in that can score points, and he's just not been it.
I feel like Gurianov's been kind of disappointing for a long time now for the Stars. Tyler, is there someone that needs to step up, do you think?
I mean, I hate to say it, but it is Tyler Seguin. I mean, he's obviously coming back from major injuries, even though that was a while back, and he's not what he once was. The accuracy hasn't been there, and they really, for his contract, they need more results out of him.
For sure.
Now let's talk about the division. Matthew, you mentioned it. Stanley Cup champion Colorado Avalanche aren't looking quite like themselves this year. The Blues are maybe a little bit down. So what do you guys think in this wide open division it seems like it's going to take for the Stars to win it?
Just consistency, right? Last year we saw them, they had the lead for about 3 or 4 games last year, and they lost it because the Avalanche decided to show up in the Wild. This year the Blues are not doing good. The Wild really haven't done good. And, the Avalanche, with losing Darcy Kemper for the Avalanche was tough because now they have Georgiev. So now this is a wide open division they can easily take and step on any team's throat and just take it out.
What do you think, Tyler?
Well, I mean, yeah, with the Avalanche, obviously the injury, but the underlying metrics shows they're still a top-tier team in the NHL. They have the best power play in the game, really playing well down the stretch against those top teams. The Jets is another one, even though they have Rick Bowness. They can't score to save their lives.
Common Rick Bonus theme, though.
Yeah. Yes, all defensive.
Right.
But really just playing on both sides of the puck, because that's what's made the Stars so successful this season.
We saw the Stars lose in the first round in 7 games last year to Calgary. That was a heartbreaking series. Really quickly, Matthew, what will it take for the Stars to make a deep playoff run this year? And what seems like a wide open Western Conference so far?
Easily, you got to be their goaltending, right? I mean, we saw it last year. Ottinger shut the door for them. And the thing is, the depth scoring, right? It wasn't there. They cannot rely on Robertson, Pavelski, and Hintz in the playoffs. It's just not going to work for them.
Well, the Stars back in action tonight against the Florida Panthers at 6 o'clock, back on the road for the Dallas Stars. And coming up next, Mean Green basketball is back in full swing. Hasn't gone quite as we wanted it to yet, but we're going to break it all down after the break.
Tira la basura en el bote. En el bote, en el bote, en el bote. Oiga mi amigo, Don Medford, Texas. Oiga mi amigo, Don Medford, Texas. Tira la basura en el bote. En el bote, en el bote, en el bote. Tira la basura en el bote. En el bote, en el bote, en el bote. Somos papichulo, recuerden, Don Medford, Texas, y'all.
Azalea is my world. When I heard that she had a tumor, everything just became dark. When I came to St. Jude, I started to get back some light in my life.
On top of first-class, best care, you will never receive a bill, so that you can zoom in and just focus on this child. The only thing we had to worry about was just keeping Azalea comfortable. St. Jude saved her life, and it saved us as a family.
Beautiful hills and highways of green. Wouldn't it be better if they were clean? Only takes one person to make things right. So joy. join hand in hand and protect our country's sides. One person starts and another follows through. Well, don't mess with Texas. He starts with you.
I'm Whitney K. Lane. Remember, y'all, don't mess with Texas.
Welcome back into Sports Zone. The Mean Green men's and women's basketball teams have gotten off to rather slow starts to the season, with expectations at an all-time high on both sides. And here to talk all things Mean Green basketball, we have analysts Mackenzie Freeman and Drew Maurer. Now, guys, let's start with last night's game for the women against Stephen F. Austin here at the Super Pit, 80-49, just a butt-kicking from Stephen F. Austin. Mackenzie, what do you think went wrong in that game?
There was a lot of things that went wrong. We got out-rebounded. We weren't playing team ball. But I want to emphasize our turnovers. The other team had 24 points off of our turnovers. And if you eliminate that, that puts us only down by 7. And then with our shooting, we went 4 of 21 from the arc. But if you move that from 4 of 21 to 8 of 21, that puts us in a position where we actually win by 5.
Now, LaMelo Ball, oh, my bad. What do you think? What do you think of that, Drew? What do you think went wrong?
LaMelo Ball?
That's what they said in the studio.
Okay. I mean, I guess I can see the resentment.
Love the tie.
I appreciate that. But, I mean, we got outscored in every quarter except the fourth. You know, that's when it matters. But the team went 19% from 3. Jocelyn Moore and Quincy Noble went a combined 4 of 18 from 3, 22.2%. Despite scoring 29 points, they're our leaders. They're supposed to step up, right? And they just did not step up when the lights were brightest. And that was ultimately our downfall. And then the bench combined for 7 points, guys. 82 minutes combined on the bench, 7 points. Yeah. Can't happen. I mean, and they were taking shots, too. It wasn't like it was like, 2 players took shots. Everyone took at least 1 shot.
And it looked like as soon as these teams took the floor that we were just going to be overpowered. They were bigger, they were stronger, they were faster, and oh my God, the rebounds were terrible. But Mackenzie, now as we get into this tournament coming up next weekend, Thanksgiving weekend for the women's team, what do you think has to change?
There's got to be a lot to change. He kind of hinted towards it. Noble and Moore, they both combined for 29 points. Well, yes, that's good. They only had a combined 2 assists, and these are girls that we're expecting to have 5 or 6 assists per game and lead this team. And so they need to fill that role, or it's going to be a horrible season for our girls.
Now let's talk about the men's team, because both games so far have been near disasters. The last one was a disaster, going to St. Mary's last Sunday. 63-33 was the final score, Drew. What do you think went wrong in that game?
Oh my gosh, too many things. I mean,
everything went wrong.
Yeah, literally everything.
And to their defense, most of the players had the flu during the week, didn't practice.
Right.
Does not excuse for Abu Usman going 0 for 9 from the floor, 1 point. That's your leader, that's your veteran, and he goes 0 for 9 from the floor. And then Kai Huntsberry, our touted transfer, 2 for 15. I mean, that just can't happen. You got to expect your other guys to come through for you when Tyler Perry's not on the floor.
And going on the road to St. Mary's was going to be tough no matter what, but if you add in the fact that Tyler Perry and Ruben Jones were both out, and they didn't practice all week because everyone was throwing up with the flu, it was bound for disaster. But Mackenzie, what do you think ultimately went wrong?
Well, so St. Mary's went into this game with 2 notable wins over Oral Roberts and Vermont, and they actually had a home game win streak of 20 that they were trying to defend. We didn't have Perry, and we scraped by a no-name school by 6 points. And, he already touched on it, but Usman and Huntsberry were 2 of our players that we were expecting to kind of lead this team. And while the shooting was bad, I mean, Usman only had 4 rebounds, and he's a 6-foot guy. Like, get in there and box out and get some boards.
Yeah. Now let's talk about these shooting concerns, because 2 straight games. The first game, it was the free throws. Last game, it was the field goals, 23.5% from the field. Mackenzie, how concerned are you about this team's shooting ability?
I'm very concerned. We're excited that Perry could possibly be back for the next game, but if the guys aren't getting those outside shots, Perry can't drive in and dish it out to him. So it's going to be a hindrance if we can't get our shots up.
What do you think, Drew?
I would have to agree. I mean, we shot 25% from the field. We shot in the 30s from 3. How does that happen? How do you shoot better from the field than you do from the 3?
Literally.
I mean, that's just ridiculous. That's shot taking. That's having to be better inside the painted area. And that's where they've got to step up this week.
Right. And it was bound for a flu game. I mean, against St. Mary's, just
so much
was going to go wrong in that game. But now Tyler Perry, guys, as you mentioned, is expected back, our star player. May or may not start this Saturday, but is expected to be back in the lineup. Mackenzie, how much of a boost is that going to provide this team?
He can boost us a lot offensively and defensively. He's a very explosive player. He's got that clutch factor in him, like we saw in the LA Tech game last year. But Fresno State's going to be expecting that. So we need that trio of Hansberry, Usman, and Perry to sort of work together to get that offense rolling.
Definitely. What do you think, Drew?
I absolutely agree. I mean, Perry coming back is going to provide a big boost. Perry is the guy who typically came off the bench and just made clutch shots. That was what he was known for. That's what he did. Now he's commanding the offense. So he's going to have to get the guys involved, and they're going to have to make their shots. So Tyler Perry coming back, dishing those assists, it's going to be crucial.
Last game against St. Mary's was a huge game. Another huge game this Saturday with Fresno State coming to town. Now, they did lose to UC Santa Barbara already this season. But, Drew, what do you think it's going to take to beat the Bulldogs this weekend?
Like I said, it's going to take Tyler Perry stepping up. I mean, he's missed a game or two. It's going to take him coming back and getting the whole team together. Instead of just taking it for himself, he's going to have to get the whole team involved. And the efficiency is going to have to get better. Defense is going to have to get better. The team's just going to have to play more cohesively.
Well, the Mean Green men's team is back at the Super Pit this Saturday when they host Fresno State at 5 o'clock, so make sure to be there for that one. It's going to be a sold-out crowd, guys. It's going to be hype. Coming up after the break, the CUSA Football Bowl of Takes returns. It's going to be fun. Stay with us.
There. Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why did the girl ask the mushroom to dance? Because he was a fun guy. What do you call a pig that knows karate? Pork chop. Why was the basketball court all wet? Why? Because the players kept dribbling all over it. Can I tell you another one? So how does a tissue dance? Put a little boogie on it. What's Beethoven's favorite fruit? Banana. What is a boxer's favorite drink? Fruit punch.
Hi, everyone. Al Roker here. As a guy with his own catchphrase, I appreciate that after 75 years, Smokey's only said,
"Only you can prevent wildfires."
But I'm filling in because there's a lot more to report. Like when there are parched or windy conditions out there, you gotta be extra careful with things like burning yard waste. After all, wildfires can start anywhere, even in your neck of the woods. Go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
Welcome back into Sports Zone. I am your host, Justin Ballou. Well, with UNT football on bye week this week, and with this being our final segment of the season on Sports Zone, it's time to bust out the CUSA Bowl of Takes for one final time. And joining me to debate some CUSA football takes are analysts Brandon Brunworth and Nick O'Galley. Now, guys, we're going to start off with a bang here. Seth Luttrell, UNT football head coach, will lead the Mean Green to their first CUSA Conference championship.
I'm going to say absolutely that he is. I mean, all we got to do to get to that championship game is beat Rice, right? Which I think 100% chance that's happening no matter what. Right. We're going to beat Rice. We're going to go to the championship game. We're going to kick UTSA's butt probably is who we'd have to play. So, yeah, I think that this is the year he finally pulls that off.
He would definitely get an extension, too, if he pulls that off. But, Nick, what do you think of that?
I mean, we're 2-10 in NCAA bowl history or whatever of us going there. We got a LeBron James finals record right now. It's like
good way to put it.
Yeah, it's a lot of times to go, and that's not all his fault for us losing so many. But I don't know. Once we get there, we'll see.
We'll see. Well, one final game to prove it all against Rice. All right, the next one. Ani will be the sole leader of touchdown passes in UNT history. He's cramping up the list, so y'all better look out for Austin Ani. He's coming. He's going to end his career in first place.
End his career? Where's he at right now?
In touchdown passes. I believe he's third still. He's behind Mason Fine still. I think he's third.
How far
I don't have the stats. I'm not sure.
He's got 29 touchdowns this year, and is he playing again next year? I don't think so, right?
No. This is it. I'll take it.
Unless he goes off against Rice, which he could.
He's gonna own the record. Mark my words. He's gonna own the record.
I
mean, he only has a few more games to ball out in his college career. That
you're trusting that Austin's gonna ball out though. Huh? I'm gonna say he's not gonna hit it.
Okay.
I'm gonna say no.
You saw it. Mason Fine's still our best legend at quarterback, so gotta give it to him for that. Let's see.
Back in the good old days.
UTSA is our biggest rival at UNT. I think this one's pretty easy. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
I think that's obvious at this point.
Especially for football.
They're the toughest team that we ever end up playing, it seems like, and they're always the ones that have our number, it also seems like. So, yeah, I'd have to say UTSA.
Come on, yo.
But what about SMU?
Is it yes or no questions? I mean, yes.
SMU or UTSA?
Oh, SMU.
Once we hit next year, it'll be SMU hands down.
SMU?
I got you.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. Definitely SMU.
Good take. All right, now this one.
Spicier.
Switching gears to the Western Kentucky legend quarterback. Bailey Zappi is the best player to come out of CUSA recently. On an NFL level, that is.
Well, you got Jeff Wilson as well.
That's true.
So you got to take him into account. And I think he's been, like, as far as being underrated or whatever, I take him over Bailey Zappi, who just started kind of playing or whatever, and they're still can't really decide if he's a starting caliber quarterback.
Is he, though?
Is he? I mean, you got him, Mac Jones. It's a pot full of checkdowns, and
that's what I mean. So
Bailey Zappi almost had the starting role and then didn't play well against the Bears. But.
Yeah. I don't really know about that. I'm taking Jeff Wilson. I'm gonna say no. All
right, I like that take. Austin Ani is the best quarterback in Conference USA.
I think it's obvious Austin Ani is the best quarterback in USA. And that's saying something. I mean, look at the guy's completion percentage. 57% completion percentage, only 11 interceptions to 29 touchdowns. The guy is balling.
He is. Hey, what do you think? 3 numbers, 414. That's how many yards he threw the other week. So I'm taking that. Those are the best game of his life. So he's proven something to me this year. So
he's had like 2 games of his career this year too.
Exactly.
UTSA was the Western Kentucky game of his life right there.
He has something to prove.
All right, Conference USA will be improved once UNT is out of it. I guess across all sports. What do you guys think?
What are you trying to say?
James Madison's coming in.
What are you
so
trying to
say? I'm gonna say a hearty no on that. Actually, I think UNT is trending the right direction, and James Madison's not going to fill the void at UNT.
You never know what you had until it's gone. They're going to miss us. Believe me, this division will miss us, whether it's us giving them a better record or it's us taking stuff away from them.
That's right.
They're going to miss our presence.
Got to miss the mean green guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, let's see. UNT will win our first bowl game in 9 years. I want this to happen so bad. You already mentioned this, but
book it right now. New Mexico Bowl, we're winning that thing this year.
Again, especially if we do play UTSA. It's revenge. It's all of that. We have all the motivation to win. I'll take it.
And it's hard to beat a team twice in one season.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's true.
Exactly. They can't. We'll make the required adjustments. We'll be out there. Absolutely.
UNT should have beat them the first time around. That was very frustrating.
Don't get me started.
So frustrating. All right, Dwayne McBride, the UAB running back, second in the country right now in rushing yards, will win Conference USA Player of the Year. This is a good one. What do you guys think?
No, because we're gonna make a fool of him whenever we play him again. First of all, but no, I will not take that.
You taking Austin Ani over him?
I'll take Austin.
Okay, I love it. And man, Austin Reed, Franco Harris. There's a lot of good guys in CUSA this year. I love it.
Absolutely, yeah. I'll take him. Okay. I'm not taking him. I'll take Ani.
Ani, Austin for sure.
Austin Ani or Austin Reed, though. We debated that one before. But. All right, Western Kentucky, who's right behind UNT right now in the rankings, will ultimately get that bid in the CUSA championship over UNT. Look. For that to happen, they have to beat FAU, and UNT has to lose to Rice. So there's 2 things that have to happen that final week.
Yeah, false. There's no way. There's no way that's happening.
Look, no way. I've been watching the Cowboys, the Rangers, the Stars. Give me something good. Give me something to cheer about. These Texas teams are not giving me – Astros don't count. They're not – I'm not from Houston, so it doesn't count.
The Mavericks are slacking.
The Mavericks is Luka's a one-man show. Give me something to cheer about. No, they will not.
All right, our final take in the bowl, guys. This is our season finale. Ethan Mooney, the best kicker UNT has had recently, will get drafted into the NFL.
Ethan Mooney, 1,000% is getting drafted. He's tied right now for all-time points. 313 points right now. He's tied. He's about to be all-time in UNT's history. Only missed 1 kick this year, 2 field goals. That's it. The guy's getting drafted, hands down.
Well, Nick, this is your senior season, man. We're going to miss you so much here at ntTV. Thank you for all of the great segments this season and all the great takes with volleyball and everything else. We've had so much fun this season, guys. We'll be back next season with more SportszSone. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at ntTV_sports, and stay tuned for ntTV news coming up next.